Hey, this is Kevin with the Comics Crowd bringing you what's new in Kickstarter Comics for January 8th, 2025. Whoa, we have a mega launch Tuesday, which is a throwback to the way things were a few months ago when Tuesdays were huge launch days. And here on the first Tuesday of the year, we get 18 new projects launched in the Kickstarter Comics category, and most of them are awesome, which is also a change from the way things have been. So we've got a genre diverse set of drops that happened, and I'm going to separate the best from the rest for you. And that means today's update is going to be long. So strap in and let's talk about some really cool comics. But let's start with the ones I can't endorse. There's a pair of pinup books that are not comics, one called Heroines After Sunset, issue 1, and one called Thrill Trigger Uncensored. We also have a pair of empty campaigns guaranteed to not result in any actual comics at all. One's a graphic novel project called Pachacuti, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and another one called Predation. And there's a couple of novice projects from developing creators that aren't quite there yet. Brook City, an action comedy, and Order of Dracula 1 through 5, The Death of Dracula horror. That's one of the Make 100 projects for January. And there's an otherwise impressive corporate project that's just overpriced beyond reason. That's Robert Venditti and David Latham's Hank Howard Pizza Detective. That's from Bad Idea. And Bad Idea has a long history of ridiculously overpriced Kickstarter projects. In fact, I can remember one that they had to restart because the pricing was so out of proportion to what was being offered. Now let's start the long list of comics I like. Starting in the action-adventure genre with Charlie McKelvey's American Yakuza, a not-safe-for-work murder mystery in Japan. This is for Acts 1 through 3. The byline for this one is, join us on a violent, sexy trip to Japan to solve a murder. The action intensifies and the mystery multiplies as we dive deeper. So the lowdown on American Yakuza is their initial funding goal is $3,500 with an end date of January 31st. Estimated delivery in February or March. This is a 20-page project. The lowest digital tier price is $5. The lowest print tier price is $15. This one has great cover art and design, terrific interior art, color, and composition, and it's a story-first approach to mature comics. I backed it. Looks really great, and I suggest you back it too. Next up, from Alan Liska, fellow Substacker, is The Press Guardian and Clock, Classic Pulp Heroes Return. Byline is, together for the first time, two iconic pulp heroes join forces to battle Nazis. If you love Golden Age comics, this is for you. Also, a Make 100 project for Kickstarter. Initial funding goal of $500, end date of January 25th, estimated delivery in February. These projects are turning around really quickly, and that's good news for backers. It's a 32-page comic. Lowest digital tier price is $5. Lowest print tier price is $10. Those are extremely reasonable in the current Kickstarter economy. Has really dynamic interior art, color, and composition, and features some fun retro-style pulp action. Really check this one out. It's a lot different than the other superhero and action comics out there right now. In the comedy genre, we've got The Bubblegum Shoes, an all-ages comedy manga by Chris Hill, which describes its story as Tabitha and Emily, a pair of hard-boiled middle school detectives, must get to the bottom of a case of missing cookies. So this is kind of an all-ages book. A minimum funding goal of $3,500. This project ends on February 13th with an estimated delivery of February or March. That's a super quick turnaround. Doesn't really say how many pages are in the book, which I went on kind of a diatribe about that on the last session. Lowest digital tier price of $5. Lowest print tier price of $15. This is a manga-inspired book, so it's got grayscale interior art and composition, but it looks great. Attractive cover art and design. And this is a refreshingly different story take compared with most of what I see from the manga options on Kickstarter. Also, we've got It's Fun to Kill People, number 1 and 2, which bills itself as a dark comedy. This one's by Anthony D. Stokes. Follow the hijinks of a poorly adjusted kid who has a pair of serial killers as parents. So a little dark humor. Initial funding goal of $3,000 with an end date of January 24th. Estimated delivery of the comic in April or May. It's a 24-page book. Minimum digital tier price of $5. Lowest print tier price is $13. The art in this one, really awesome. Very stylized. Top tier cover art and design. And it's good to see some dark humor in a comic in the Kickstarter Comics category. Not seeing a lot of this type of book. I'm excited to take a look at it. Then we get to horror. It's one called Frankie, Boy Monster Number 4 by Eli Schwab. An all-new Frankie Boy Monster adventure written by Morgan Heron with amazing art by Jorge Pena. This one's got super stylized art. It's got an initial funding goal of $4,500 with an end date of February 6th. Estimated delivery in March. So getting consistently fast turnaround, or at least projected turnaround for the books that were launched on the 8th. This one also doesn't tell you how many pages are in the book, but the lowest digital price is $5. Lowest print tier price is $12. So those are very reasonable, even if you don't know how many pages you're getting. The cover art design, like I said, very cool, very bombastic, stylized, captivating interior art, color, and composition. And they do have discounted catch-up rewards tiers, which you can get issues 1 through 3. And it's just a fun take on the monster genre. Also in the horror camp is Ice and Bone numbers 1 and 2, a samurai action horror. This is part of the Make 100 projects for Kickstarter January. This is from Aaron Robluski. This story is set in 16th century Japan where anarchy reigns. Revenge took Nakaki beyond blood and fire. Now there is only ice and bone. Initial funding goal of $3,500 on Ice and Bone with an end date of February 6th. Estimated delivery September 25. This is a 28-page comic. The lowest digital tier price is $6. Lowest print tier price is $15. Super edgy cover art. I really like it. Deceptively simple, badass interior art, color, and composition. I mean, this book looks terrific. There are catch-up rewards tiers for previous issues, and it's just an awesome genre mashup done in high style. This is a book from a fellow Substacker, and if you like your horror mashed up with martial arts and swordplay, this is the book for you. Sticking with horror, we've got The Passenger of U-977. This is a horror graphic novel, also part of the Make 100 initiative by Joseph Oliveira. The byline on this one is: a mysterious passenger aboard U-977 plunges its crew into terror on a 66-day submerged journey. World War II ends, but their nightmare begins. This one has an initial funding goal of $1,872. Campaign ends on January 22nd with estimated delivery in April. It's a 108-page graphic novel, so this is a beefy book with a lowest digital tier price of $10, which is super cheap for a book that big. Lowest print tier price is $20, also good. Really perfect cover art and design. I'm really impressed with the art on this project. So impressed that I backed it. The art inside is very watercolor inspired. Really captivating to look at. This one ships from the UK and is a mature story based on real events. Check it out. And I did have a comic I like pop out of the not safe for work genre. This one is Mademoiselle de Sade, number 3, The Terror, from Tuca El Boucher. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Describes itself as an erotic journey through 1794 Paris, blood, corsets, big wigs, and the guillotine. This is the printed edition. $724 initial funding goal. This one ends on Kickstarter on January 14th. Estimated delivery in April. This one also doesn't tell you how many pages you're getting, but it has a lowest digital tier price of $6, a lowest print tier price of $19, and it just really looks amazing. The cover art and design are done in high style. The interior art, color, and composition are, to me, Vertigo inspired, classic Vertigo inspired. They look so good. This one ships from Italy, and this is a good example of erotica that's endemic to a real narrative instead of just trying to sell nude covers. Now we get to the sci-fi genre, starting off with Curtis Clow's A Place Where Time Doesn't Exist, number 1, which bills itself as a sci-fi adventure in which humanity is going extinct. A small crew must find the cure on a strange alien planet at any cost. Curtis makes great comics. This one has an initial funding goal of $3,000, ends on January 31st, so pretty quick turnaround of about 3 weeks. Estimated delivery in June or July. Also doesn't tell you how many pages you're getting, but the lowest digital tier price is $7. The lowest print tier price is $13. Gorgeous cover art, stylized and dynamic interior art with a wild purple-dominated color palette. Really freaky-looking book, and I say that in the best way. And I just love seeing weird sci-fi back on Kickstarter. Excited to take a look at this book when it's done. Next up in sci-fi, The Final Frontier #1, A Game of Death by EPHK, whoever that is. The unbelievable yet true first official adventure of the infamous starship USS Pequod and his valiant crew. So this one's sort of a mature parody of the sci-fi genre, particularly the Star Trek side of the sci-fi genre. Has an initial funding goal of $13,456, which is pretty ambitious. Has an end date of February 6th with estimated delivery in October, so that's going to be a long turnaround. Not outrageous, but pretty long. It's a 48-page book. Does not offer a digital option. The lowest print tier price is $25. Really awesome retro cover art and design. Stylized, fully painted, by the way, interior art, color, and composition. Ships from France. And again, it's just, I love seeing weird sci-fi. It's not something that shows up on Kickstarter very often. This one's a sexy parody of weird sci-fi, but nonetheless, I'm happy to see it. And finally, we get to the superhero genre with Jonathan Hedrick's Capable 1-7, the final issue. This is also part of the Make 100 initiative. So the new content here is for issue 7, but you can get the whole series as part of this Kickstarter. Describes itself as the series finale of Jonathan Hedrick's bold superhero story that asks, what if people gain powers opposite of their disabilities? Such a cool take on the superhero genre. Something totally different than what you're used to. Has an initial funding goal of $517. Ends on February 6th with an estimated delivery in February. So that's as fast a turnaround as you can get. 60-page book, so that's a beefy comic. Lowest digital tier price is $6. Lowest print tier price is $11. I love the cover art and design. Tells you exactly what you're going to get inside the book, and has detailed dynamic art, color, and composition inside the book. This is a much-needed, different take on superheroes that I think you're going to find really fascinating. So, this is a dramatic switch from what we've been seeing with a bunch of campaigns that are difficult to endorse because they're honestly not great or just aren't developed well enough yet. But on the 8th, we got so many great comics from all kinds of genres to choose from. And it's just really good to see that we're kicking off 2025 with this kind of outlay of talent and quality in the Kickstarter Comics category. So let's hope that keeps going. And I'll keep you updated. Have a great week.